These videos are made for adult collectors. Alright, today I'll be taking a look at Fanstoys / Fantastic Models Warhorse, their take on a masterpiece Ironhide. And if we take a look at the box, beautiful artwork there. Fantastic Model Warhorse. Fantastic Model Warhorse. And he has pictures and a bio if you want to pause and read it. I'm not going to read it because I don't know how to read. Now, for accessories, he comes with all of the accessories. Yay! Now, in all seriousness, he comes with quite a lot of guns, actually. He comes with this silver gun. This handle can fold up as well as down. It plugs in using the typical masterpiece tab slot hand. This one is kind of loose, but it still like holds fairly well. He comes with another gun, but this one has two handles, so it can be two guns. Oh, two guns. Same thing, masterpiece tab slot handle. Two of the exact same gun for dual wielding. He comes with a little drill / rocket launcher item that this will plug into the little robot carrier thing from its backpack, and then if you fold this out, this will plug onto his shoulder, kind of right there. It kind of just sits right there. Does it tab in? Kind of. If you do it all the way to the right, it kind of sort of just like tabs in like that. So there's that. He comes with a baseball cap. Doesn't really fit his head. No, this is for the little robot carrier thing, I believe. And he comes with many faces. He has the oh my god face, or the roar face, however you want to depict that. The grr face, the regular face, and the I'm happy for all my accessories face. I am gonna replace the faces. Basically at the top here, there's a little cutout at the crest. Just get a spudger and put the spudger in with ease. It's not liking me. Okay, maybe not underneath his chin. Oh, there we go. It went. I felt it. Kind of. Oh. Okay, well, part of it came off. This top piece can come off. It is supposed to. It's not for me because things don't like me. Oh, there we go. So this comes off, and where's the regular face? Did I drop it? Oh no, I dropped it. All right, so for the regular face, or all the faces really, they have a little peg that goes in to, yeah, this way. That little hole. So just kind of line up the face, put it in, and then these tabs and that peg are going to slot in there and peg in there. So it's just a whoop, there's that. He does come with this blast effect, which is for, I think, this gun only. So it fires a spraying shot. So he's just going do. Kind of cool. Comes with a jetpack and two blasters for it. You know, they just regularly peg in. wow, that's kind of a tight fit. And then this will plug on his back, kind of in these two slots here with these two tabs. Whoop. And then he can blast off again. I did forget to mention his other head. I think it's from a comic. I don't honestly remember, but it is a mushroom pig slip in and slip out. You basically want to turn the head to this way, move it, and then put this back on. I am not going to do it because paint chipping is scary. Now, coming out of the box, Ironhide more or less looks like this. His hands were going out. The whole chest area, mine was fine. I know some people had different chests. I can't remember what the difference was, but just extend them. Now he's great. Okay, for articulation, his head doesn't really go 360, but it goes all the way to the left and all the way to the right. Left, right. I know my directions. He can look up pretty much all the way. Look down. No, he does not look down. His waist rotates 360 degrees, and he also has a very nice ab crunch. Arms 360, can go out all the way. He does not have a butterfly joint. Biceps, they go 360. This one's kind of tight. This one on mine is really tight. Single jointed elbow for almost basically the full elbow. Wrist rotate. Hands are individually articulated at 2 pins. Thumb on a ball joint, as well as 1 pin up there. Legs, move the hip skirts out of the way. This is really tight on mine, but it can go forward about that far and can go back. Let me get that hip skirt out of the way. About that far, because it does right up against this. Oh, and it can go out, can go past a little bit of 90 degrees. He has a double jointed knee. That's basically the full knee. This part is ratcheted, this part is just tensioned, which is kind of nice. Actually, I don't mind it. He does have a thigh swivel, nothing below the knee, which is kind of nice. For toe tilt, it's down all the way, but I mean, you break sculpt, but if you need it like a little bit, it's fine. Nothing up, and the ankle rocker is broken ankles. And that is everything. I don't think I'm missing anything this time. Yay! Now, for comparison, here he is next to the Toon model. He looks pretty great. The chests will never look, oops, that was weird. But the chest will, the chest and the stomach area will never really look great. That's really not supposed to be there, but it's okay. I think the back looks fine, in my opinion. But here he is next to the Takara Tomy / Hasbro. I mean, both have their pluses and minuses. For the time, this was a really great figure. But now it's very dated. The stomach is kind of weird. But this also goes back to the chest is really hard to get on him. So, but I did like this figure a lot, even though I do have a lot of problems with him now. And here he is next to Magic Square's Leader, Freedom, Justice, Freedom, Leader, Justice, Freedom. I can never remember what they call him. Their version of Optimus Prime. I also have Fanstoys Jazz. and itty bitty tiny cliff jumper. To me, that scale works. I like this scale, but here's the size chart for comparison, I guess. I do like it. I can't complain about this scale, in my opinion anyway. All right, let's get down to the secondary mode. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna basically rip his arms off. They kind of tab in here and they tab in very strongly. So make sure you grab like right here and right here so you're not kind of ripping everything off, and just pull like you're gonna break it. I have noticed if you kind of like pull forward and out, it makes things a little bit easier. Make sure to lift the head up to get these items out. Yes, I have paint chipping. That's a thing about this figure that I'll get into later. Open up the chest, open up these panels, and then you're gonna come here and you're going to flail out this whole backpack section. And then basically you wanna like grab underneath this bar right here where my thumb is and just pull, because it'll extend. Now you'll see this little gray piece right here. This kind of slides out this way, so the red pieces go this way. The best thing to do that is to move these silver treads out of the way and kind of push on these, it's really hard to show, on these hinges so you don't break anything, while kind of grabbing from the back here on this back red piece. So it kind of just like comes out super easy, but it is a little scary. Finally, God, that took so long. But yeah, see these little rail pieces? They slide into those two red rail pieces. So it's just hard, but it is so scary because I always feel like I'm gonna break it. But let's see. Anyways, so this is basically how it is on his back. And once when you get it out, you open up these gray pieces here and here. Then flail everything out. Same thing here. Move these gray sections, unclip them. They tap into here, into that slot. Boop. Kind of have everything extended. Move these red pieces around. They're on double hinges. So it's kind of like this first item here and then around. Same thing on the other side. Move this red flap up, or if it's down like that, it's supposed to be like this, but sometimes it moves. Move, I can't remember, but I want to say it's like this. And then you want to move this whole silver section out and around. It's on a double hinge, so we want it like that. Then collapse this red item on the slider. There is a little tab right there that will go into a slot, kind of like that. Then you want to move this whole section around. It is on a double hinge. Usually that hinge is already moved for robot mode. So you want to move it on the other hinge. And then make sure that these are flailed out. And we'll put this off to the side for now. So you're gonna have Ironhide basically explode like this. And then you're gonna rotate his head in. Make sure it's straight. You're gonna rotate his head in, something like this. Have it down. I like to move this kind of back. And then you're going to, you basically want to position this to where it's kind of like how it was in robot mode. So it's just finagling with all these parts to just get it to resemble something like it was. So to me, this works. And then you want to have the arms kind of like this. I know that was weird. Let me show it this way. So on this hinge, you want to up, and then on this hinge, you want to basically like break it like that. This will feel weird the very first time you do it. And you want to rotate the biceps so it's like this. So then you have this weird item kind of like this. That's what the back looks like, the sides and the front. And now let's get this thing ready. Now this is where the hat from earlier comes in. It's gonna slide right over this. So it just literally just slots in kind of like that, held with tension. Oh, I am so sorry, I forgot. You want to fold these out and fold these around. I am so sorry. Whoops. There you go. That's a little better. That is definitely a little better. So put the hat on. Come in here. Grab the big drill gun laser thing, and it's gonna go into that tab that's in there. This tab is gonna go into that slot all the way in there to hold that basically in place. Then you're gonna get this one, the one that has basically the two guns inside of it. You're gonna place that with the handle into the hole, like so. Then you're going to grab the booster, and you're gonna put the blast effects in it. And then you're gonna come here to the back, and it's going to tab into, these holes are gonna tab into those posts, like so. We have everything like that. Then you grab the tool identical pistols, and the masterpiece tab is going to go into that slot right there. So kind of like this. Oop. Same for the other side. Oop. Guess we can angle that down just a bit, because that would make sense for the blaster. Oh, can't. There we go. Oop. There we go. The next item is going to be this. Make sure the handle is folded up. And then this little hole is going to go into that post. So turn it. And I am now having issues. I am struggling. Go. Oh man, that's a super tight fit. And now yeah. This is getting to a point where it's starting to scare me. So I'm getting to a point where I'm getting scared with it. So I am not going to press any further. But basically, you can also put the blast effect on it, and it can just sit there. We're just gonna shove that in for there. But it is supposed to go into that post right there using that hole, but it's not really staying, and I'm not gonna put a bunch of force into it. But it'll look like that basically, because G1 toy. Believe it or not, this is the fun part. Let's get started on transformation. So you want to put it to the typical masterpiece hand ready for transformation, which is the thumb like this and the hand folded over. Do that on both sides. Rotate to where, on the bicep tool, to where the elbow is pointing inwards. Collapse, collapse. Flip open this little section. It's on a double hinge. Make sure it's open all the way. And then you're going to rotate the hands inward, like so, on both sides. And then we're gonna do the legs, because I've found doing the legs and then the upper part a lot easier, because if you do the upper part, then you have all this flimmeling stuff, and I think that's where paint scratches happen. This is from the first transformation I did. Ever since then, I haven't had an issue if I do legs up. But I'll also talk about that later. So you want to, this little tab here, you want to open it. This tab right here, you want to open, kind of like that. And we'll worry about the rest later. But they will separate kind of here. Doop. So there you'll have the foot in this separate. Before you move this, make sure to grab it, and it's gonna go ever so slightly down, literally the tiniest of gaps, and then fold it up, just a wee bit. Then this section, normally like this, you gotta extend it down, like that. Turn it over to where it's all flat, and then move it on the slider all the way up. And then this little section is gonna flip out. So grab a nail or a spudger and flip it all the way out like that. Now, you wanna lift up his butt flap there. And this is on kind of that double hinge there. You wanna make sure that this red piece stays straight. So I put my thumb there while I put this second hinge over, and then the last one all the way over. Now make sure that this red piece is over the gray, kind of like that. And then this tab is going to go into that slot in the butt. And that should realistically hold everything together for now. This just helps kind of keep things straight while we work on everything else. So you're going to combiner wars the leg, flip this item all the way around. Now that we have this open, you also want to rotate this little section right here. It's very hard to get at sometimes, but there we go. All the way over, kind of like that. Now, you're gonna put the foot all the way down, flat. And then this is going to separate by this top section going this way and this section going this way. So kind of like this, then like this. Then this double hinge here, you rotate over and then rotate the wheel. And then for this part, you have to get this little silver piece all the way around, and it is extremely hard. You can use a spudger to get in between that crease right there, and then kind of rotate the spudger, go, to rotate this all the way around, kind of like that. And then it's going to rotate this way. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, the other way. It's gonna rotate this way. Oop, that way it fits in. Then come away to the back. Now this rotates at a couple places. It rotates here and here. So you wanna grab your thumb, put it here, rotate. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, before you do that, this little silver piece right here, you wanna flip out, and then that little red piece is gonna flip down all the way to where it's hard to show, to where it's kind of like that. This red piece was at the top where that cutout was, and now it's on the bottom. Now, same thing, rotate at this part here, and then once when it gets to about there, you can swing this piece around where that red piece fills in that gap, and then this piece moved, but it is supposed to fill in that gap to where everything is kind of like this. This got unpegged, so we're gonna peg that back in. Boop. Now rotate on this hinge all the way down, and you can actually move this piece down as well, like that. Move this out of our way. So now what you want to do is you want to fold this whole section down, making sure it's getting underneath this to where it's kind of like this. You can rotate, make sure this was the toe. Make sure that this is up. I did not do this the first time I transformed it, and ooh, was that annoying. And then this section gets tucked away like that. Now this wheel has a little lip here, and it's gonna go over this. I have not had scratches on it, which is nice, but always, you know, be careful. The tab came undone again. We'll do it in a bit. Then, again, you wanna make sure that this slider's all the way back like this, and that slot's gonna go into that tab, as well as that slot to that slot, or that tab to that slot. So move it over, like that, and then everything should tab in very nicely to where you have something like this. Put the tab back in the butt. Now, for convenience sake, I am just going to do this whole section real quick because that's going to save both of us a lot of time. Okay, and then when you do the magic of getting the other half already done, you can see here that there's tabs and slots all throughout. Just make sure to compress those tabs to where you'll have something like this all the way around. Now, it'll be a lot easier to work on this while we not have the legs, and easier to work on the legs while we don't have all this crap. So, like when doing the thing to get the stupid drone thing out, it's kind of easier to just grab everything, kind of pull it towards you and down very slightly, pull it towards you and down, greatest of ease. Open, make sure that these are all the way down because these are on two hinges on the back. So you kind of want to make sure that you have these all the way down for enough clearance to move these doors out. Make sure the head is tilted up so you don't scratch the face. And then move everything out and around. Now, this part sucks. It's kind of awful. So you want to fold everything in on these hinges and then rotate them around 360 to where you have that window piece. And you literally have to like move it out and then force it over. And it is terrifying. And I haven't found the best way to do it other than kind of, well, I guess that. So once when you pull it over and rotate all the way around, pull it out at like an angle. Make sure you're grabbing only the window piece and kind of angle it down and over. And then there's a little clear tab to a little slot at the top, and it's gonna look like that. That actually wasn't too bad. I just figured that out. Go me. Now for these, rotate them towards the window and then fold them down. Make sure this red piece is all the way up and out. And make sure these red pieces are kind of to the side so these can go down. And then close those red pieces resting on the gray bits. Now for this, unfurl it, grab underneath the neck so all your pressure is underneath, and then grab these red pieces and pull till it's all the way out. Then you're gonna tuck the head in at this joint, and yeah, basically those two joints. So it's kind of gonna go like to the nose, all the way around to where we have kind of something like this. Again, you want to be mindful of this red piece, so I have my finger kind of resting on the back to hold it from getting hurt a little bit more. Now for the oops, it's stuck now on things. Now for the hands, you want to rotate them to where they're kind of to the back like this, and then you want to open them up. Now instead of coming them back down, there's this little hinge here that needs to go forward kind of like that. So on the other side, rotate, have it out on the silver hinge, and then on that gray hinge, you're gonna move it so it gives you enough clearance. Now you want to move these pieces in, and then these greave pieces are gonna fold out. These are really stiff on my copy, so I thought I was gonna break it the first time I ever did this. It is okay, you are not gonna break it. I don't promise, but you know, I can pretty much guarantee. So it's gonna look something like that. You also wanna take these windows and fold them out, and then this little red piece is gonna fold out and in, like so, to lock the window in place, as well as giving it a little door handle. Same thing for the other side. Boop. With, you know, the greatest of ease. Why is this being weird and sounding scary? Clip. Filled in door handle. Now, this piece right here is gonna rest in between these two, like so. And then this is gonna have to stay like that. And then these are going to come over and around to hold everything in place and fill in those little gaps. All right, you know what? This is another thing that we're gonna do. We're actually gonna pull this apart because this will help. So you want to take these pieces, pull them out. Same thing for the other side, pull them out. Fold this red piece on the double hinge all the way out. Collapse it, because that little tab is gonna go into that slot like I showed earlier. Then split these items here, all the way out. And these are on two hinges, so you wanna flail both of these out. Flail on both of these out. We're gonna come back to these sections later. And then you want to open on the top hinge and then on the second hinge, kind of like that, because you want it to be straight. You can leave this untabbed for now because it's gonna be easier to get things kind of around. But again, you want to flip, flop, flip, get that halo piece kind of resting, and then move the arms inward and around to where everything kind of looks like this. Then you can fold kind of this piece up and around to where the red section will meet. Why is this being weird? There we go. So this is gonna look like that. Sometimes this section pops up, but you wanna feed these clips in here and it will tab in, and then that will slot in, and then this will just fold over for now. Let's rearrange the arms because they came undone in transit. why won't these fit in? Go in your hole. There we go. To where everything's gonna look like this. We're gonna close the door. Everything's gonna look pretty much like this. Then what you wanna do is you want to grab these gray pieces and engage the ab crunch. And I like to hold both of these while my back fingers are on the pelvis. And you're going to push to where it extends kind of like that. And then before we close this up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab these pieces, we're gonna pull them out to the side, and we're gonna rotate them around to where the wheel is facing down. And then these are gonna fold out all the way to connect. And then that's gonna kind of rotate to where it's like this, but make sure it's all the way out. So you want the silver on top of the wheel. Same thing for the other side, out, rotate, rotate all the way around, rotate around to where it folds in. And I'm gonna show you how to do this to where this paint chipping doesn't happen. So from here, you want to lift the arms just a tad so you can see what you're doing. And then this piece is going to clip in where those little tabs are right there. So it's a very blind type of thing, but it's going to fold up and over kind of like so. It's a little finicky, but for the most part, that's what it's going to be. And then with these wheels, you actually want to rotate them in on a slight angle, and then you want to come underneath the door, and that tab is going to tab into that slot. So out, under, and then up to where you can tab into that slot. And that will make it to where you don't get paint chipping. Because on my first time, that's what I did. So from the underside, it's kind of what it looks like. And then out, making it to where it won't chip. And then pushing this in, and that over it, and they're gonna tap in to those slots. Now, we're gonna handle this top section. Oop, I forgot to tuck that in underneath. So, for the top section here, you actually wanna collapse, these are slightly collapsible, kind of like that. Same thing for here. You will feel a move. It won't look any different, but you'll feel a move. Then you want to kind of rotate these on the little slider down and then out, and then that red piece is gonna go down. You could not see that. I am so sorry. So basically it's like this for the robot mode. You want to slide that down, slide it down, so where it's going to go around. Flip this red piece up. In the back, you want to flip this red piece up like this, and then you want to get the window oriented, put the tab up, make it flush, and then reach under here. There is a little red section to flip it out, and it's gonna look like that. Then what you want to do is underneath these two little red sections, you want to fold them out kind of like that to fill in those gaps. And then you want to fold these red sections down to where they look flush with the van. Sometimes they're really nice and sometimes they're not. This is one of those times where they're not nice. But flush with the van. And flush with the van. Now, everything is going to basically kind of lock and tab in with this two slots going into these two tabs. make sure that this is extended because that's going to help you. And then you basically want to guide everything in. I aim for these little teeth here, kind of on both sides, making sure that they're both in, because if you don't, they will pop out. So kind of just lining things up here. Sometimes you have to straighten out a couple of things here. Move things around. This is not being nice to me. This is honestly the most frustrating part, because even if everything is lined up, sometimes it just doesn't want to go in and you have to kind of like finagle it. Kind of like what I'm doing here. Oh, come on, you little bastard. There we go. There we go. And then again, just kind of making sure that those pieces are in, and down and over those two tabs, lock it in. Close the front section, so just a little push, kind of like that. And now for this, you want to make sure that, again, these are pretty flush right here and as closed in as possible. And then you're rotating at this joint here. Whoop. Same for the other side. That joint. Close. I always have a little tiny gap there, but for the most part, that is Ironhide. Oof, that's always kind of an intense transformation, but the vehicle mode does look really nice. Yeah, there's a lot of panel lining, but like, it's heavy, it's dense, and it rolls okay. Because of the way that all the wheels are tabbed in and pinned, sometimes when rolling it, they kind of like go like that or like turn. So it rolls, but it rolls really weird. For comparison, here it is next to the... Does not take in all the way? Doesn't matter. Here it is next to the Takara Tomy one. I gotta say, transforming him, he's a lot more fun than him. I will say that. I do like the more real world things about him, like the windshields and stuff. No license plate, but actual taillights, so that's kind of nice. And the windshield. The trunk does look like it opens. On him it does not. The sides are nice. And the fronts are kind of nice. But this feels better than this. Like, this is all plastic, and this has like a lot of metal in it. You know, and it's definitely like thicker. No way. Now, for comparison more, I guess, here's next to Blue Streak. So, I mean, that looks about right? I mean, in the sense of vehicles. Yeah, I can't complain. Basically how it looks. The paint chipping though, it's kind of crazy. It's honestly discouraging when moving the figure around and stuff. But I know it, yeah, it is a very complicated transformation, but it is also like, it's not fun. I was gonna say it's fun, but no, it's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like Blitzwing's transformation is enjoyable, yet kind of complicated, but it's kind of cool. But here I am so worried about paint chipping that I'm just like, oh my God, is everything okay? Stress. Like, this is probably the 4th or 5th time of me transforming this. And after I put it on this shelf, I don't know if I'll ever go back to it, which is saying something for me because I at least like to transform my figures, you know, every once in a while, except for like a few of them. Like Cup is one of them, and Warpath is kind of sort of one of them, just because of like his legs. His legs kind of scare me a little bit, but I mean, that's still like bearable. Him, I don't know if I'll ever transform him again due to the paint chipping. I do recommend though, if you go out to go get some clear nail polish, maybe coating that piece a little bit in these pieces, just a tad, just to get, you know, the paint coverage. That's what I might do if I can fix that paint chipping there. I might get some clear nail polish and just coat it a little bit, like coat the sides, just to make sure that, you know, things are fine. It won't harm the figure. It won't make it look any weird. Yeah, the tolerance may be a little bit more, but I think it'll be fine. That's my feel on the vehicle mode anyway, and the transformation. Now, let's get him back to, robot mode. I do want to pop in here and say the best way that I found out to start the transformation is by putting a spudger in his ass and lifting these up. Just to start it, because that just makes life a little bit easier to just get my hand in here and to just lift the whole thing. I also want to pop in real quick about the reverse transformation. Make sure this is in a little backpack before you slide this piece in. Because if you do this part first, I don't care. Because if you do the slide part first before all the other stuff, it's going to be very hard to get the hands in. So just make the backpack first before you slide. All right, final thoughts on the figure. I know this isn't as dynamic as I usually do it. I couldn't think of really any scene. The only scene that was popping up was the 1986 movie where they're talking on the radio, but I can't, or video screen, whatever. They use Skype. But it's just not gonna work out, so I gave up and did this. Anyway, so final thoughts on the figure. I think it's a miss. I do. I don't have the X Transbots one, so I can't speak on that. But the transformation with this is just, it's not there. And I don't know if it's because they wanted to integrate the stupid drone thing or what, but just the whole like paint chipping is just so scary, and there's just a few things that I don't like. Like if you don't slide the bar in last, you're literally scraping everything behind it and nothing's gonna tab in. Like some of the plastic has like, I didn't show it in vehicle mode because I forgot until just now, but some of the back part of it in the vehicle mode is like scratched, like there's like a groove. I mean, small, I mean, you can't see it, but like, because, you know, the first time I transformed it back, I was having such issues and I couldn't understand why, and the video was crap and the instructions were crap, and I just don't know how to read. All these accessories, they're cool, they're whatever, but realistically, I'm only going to use these two guns. So I don't know how I feel, because the only reason they add all these accessories is because of the dumb drone thing. I think the chest is a little weird, but none of the chests are going to be great for Ironhide. It's whatever. I do like the look of him though. I do like his shelf presence. Like that looks like Ironhide more than this dumb thing. But this was great first time, don't get me wrong. I mean, look at these two. These look great. Like they look fantastic together. I mean, even standing next to Prime, he looks so great. Like it looks so nice, but just the paint chipping, man, and just some of the assembly, like, look, I even have it slightly transformed wrong, so the neck is weird. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just a miss for me. That's a little better. The neck is still kind of weird, but it's just, this definitely needed to be in the oven a little bit longer, but they got it out, you know, to block X-Trans bots. Fortunately, it worked for me, but I didn't like X-Trans bots chest, so I don't think I was gonna get it anyway because the chest was weird because it had that big gap. Like this looks nicer, and the Autobot's like tucked away, but I mean it looks nicer and more cartoon accurate, but I don't know. This is like one of like the first few times with Fanstoys where I'm like, I don't really care for it. It looks nice, looks great. Just the transformation is just not fun. It's just complicated and worrisome because of the paint. Like I think the complication would be fine if I wasn't so worried about paint scratching everything on this thing. Also, I noticed when handling him back, there's little plastic pieces here. They're missing on this one. Sorry, there's little plastic pieces here. They're missing on this one. I have no idea where it is. Like plastic, not plastic. I'm inside the chrome part. So I don't know where that is. I mean, you can't really tell. I mean, it took me a minute and I think I found one and threw it away because I didn't know what it was. So there's that. But you can't tell. But yeah, that's kind of my afterthoughts on him, and he's okay. He looks nice, and that's kind of what I'm gonna give him. He looks nice, he looks how I want Ironhide to look like, but that transformation's just, I'm not doing it again. I did it enough to make sure that I know how to do it for here, but it is not fun. I really don't want to do it. I don't see myself messing with him like how I would mess with him or him. And he even has some paint scratching issues, but again, I'm not as worried about it throughout the whole figure until I get to there. Yeah, his chest was weird, but once when you glue it in, it's fine. But him, it's just scary all around, and I'm not okay with that. Anyways, bye. Wobbly boy. It's not liking me. Why doesn't things not like? Ow, my fingers. Come on. Fine, I'll do it the other way. A little bit past 90 degrees. And then your background falls. When doing the thing, your background's gonna fall. It's okay. The silver piece